Charlie Marsh.
Okay, Charlie, from the clip, you picked out one performer, identify and describe all the major strengths and weaknesses of the performer, prioritise their major weakness and create a viable action plan to improve the performer, describe the opportunities both locally and nationally for participation and progression, and describe all the health and fitness benefits of the activity. Okay, good luck.
I'll start off with the strengths, skills. It shows that a good long pass. It's a diagonal ball, so it creates a chance for the striker. It opens up the defence. It's obviously a strength because it took a number of defenders and midfielders out of the game and created a chance for his team. After that, we see a good first touch. This enables a lot of time and a lot of space early on, because if this wasn't a good touch, it enables defenders or opposing team to gain ground on him, so he's got less time to think what he's going to do with the ball. He shows a fitness component, he shows good speed. His team have been attacking and the opposing yellow team counter-attack. It shows good speed, getting back to recover. This enables the danger to go and he regains possession for his team. Tactical point of his play, when the opposing yellows team is switching the ball across, he's moving, his team's moving across, so that enables the yellows to have less time on the ball, less space for the ball, and narrows their play with the ball, so it's harder for them to get out or create space. Also, when the Reds score their first goal, the centre midfielder plays a pass into the goal scorer, but as he plays that pass, he makes a diagonal run which takes the defender out of the way, so that creates space for his player to have a shot, opens the gap up. His weaknesses, right from the start, at the beginning, opposing player loses the ball in which he gains, but he has a bad first touch which loses possession, but that starts off with poor agility. He doesn't shift his balance quick enough onto his left to right foot, which means him having a bad touch and the opposition gaining the ball. After that, we see a poor pass, which is going back to his defence, which doesn't quite make it. The power and the accuracy isn't quite on it, so that puts his team under pressure, meaning the rest of the team's got to track back as the yellows can counter-attack. We also see a shot later on in the game which he has too much backlift on and his static foot isn't quite next to the ball. This causes the ball to go over the crossbar when really it was a long distance out and he could have looked up for a pass, which probably would have been the right decision to keep possession of the ball and work the ball. Throughout the game we also see poor stamina. He looks tired. We see this when the yellows counter-attack and his marker leaves him quite easily, and we see him walking back, which obviously for a centre midfielder we shouldn't be seeing quite on as early as it was. One of my priority, which I'm going to choose, is going to be shooting. As we see 2 shots which fly over the bar, so the coaching points for this, it should be his right footed on both, so his left foot should be stationary next to the ball, static, standing foot should be planted next to the ball. His eye should be looking at the ball and it's straight, with the laces making contact with the centre of the ball, and his right foot, which the power is going to be generated from, that leg should be followed through, and that should determine where the ball goes. So creating my action plan. Action plan's going to be 4 weeks of 2 sessions. They're going to be 30-minute sessions. I'm going to progress this by, in the first week, we're just going to have shots with the ball stationary, shooting from the 18-yard box, trying to pick different targets for where the ball wants to go, making sure that his standing foot is planted next to the ball and his laces are contacting. with the centre of the ball, and also that his leg follows through. Otherwise, this doesn't occur, the ball can go not in the direction he wants it to. I'm going to progress this by setting targets in the corner of goal, so I'll make it harder in a game situation when adding a goalkeeper if he's hitting corners of the goal. Then I'm going to add a goalkeeper to this, so we can see whether he has progressed or not by doing a tally or video analysis of this and deciding between the one keeping the tally, how, if out of 10 or 20, how many he scores, how many he misses, or how many hits the target with at least. Then going to add a player in, which is going to play the ball into his feet, and you can have a touch out, which is going to put it in more of a game situation, because unless it's really a free kick, the ball's hardly ever stationary. So this will determine on his touch and his shot where the ball's going to go. After this, I'm going to add a defender. So a player will play the ball into his feet, and then a defender is going to run from penalty spot out to him to close him down. Obviously not to tackle him, but just to add that pressure on the player, and then it's going to determine his touch and his shot. So I'll see whether over the 4 weeks the player has improved by doing a tally at the start of how many he actually scores with a goalkeeper in net. So I'll do 20 shots and tally how many he scores and how many hit the target. Then at the end of the 4-week action plan, I will retally and hopefully we'll see an improvement. Opportunities locally form really in early days when we're at school, school teams or PE lessons. There's opportunities there to play in game situations, learn skills that you don't know, and also learn coaching points, whether you're doing it right, whether you're doing it wrong. That then many schools have links with local teams that play in local leagues, so that's putting you into a game situation, playing against local teams around you. And also obviously the school offers extracurricular activity after school to take part in. School teams have tournaments also, as local teams have tournaments or leagues. This can then progress to regional tournaments depending on how well you do in those sort of leagues. Like Stop Up Boys, going to local tournaments and regional tournaments, there's more likely to be scouts who are at those games. So that can then lead to schools of excellence, academies or apprenticeships with clubs such as Stockport County, Macclesfield Town, who have links with many colleges of course. And then 16 to 18, this is when they tend to start offering professional contracts out, which obviously leads to excellence. Obviously playing at a high level, decent standard, leagues to conference, which then you could progress with more likely high people up watching you and watching what you do. National level of excellence, with the higher teams, they offer various different things. They have obviously sports scientists that can look in depth obviously into injuries, and they look at tactics. They use fitness components, speed, stamina, strength, agility, to look where improvements can be made, competing against the better players. They also have better facilities, such as many pitches. They have, for example, for goalkeeping, they'll just have a pitch that's maybe 20 yards and concentrate on shots and corners coming in. Have specialist equipment, as in gyms and so on, as etc., where gyms can improve mainly fitness components. Also computer science involved in sport, that can be linked to watching opposing teams and learning how they play, tactics, what they use, who's main threats, etc. And also you're playing at that better standard, so you've got to be up to the task. You need all these facilities to help you improve in what you do. Health benefits. Towards my training plans, like, it's going to be interval training, so this is going to maximise maximal cardiac output, allowing muscles to gain more O2, allowing them to work harder for longer periods of time. Also, decreased osteoporosis, obviously not leading to a sedentary life. You're going to be active a lot more, so this is going to increase bone density. You're going to be having a healthy diet with doing active sports. Increasing bone density will also decrease injury, as your bones aren't going to be as fragile. So this is going to lead to less injuries or breakages, fractures. Muscles are also going to hypertrophy. It's going to strengthen them. This also links to the aerobic training, but it's going to improve your stamina as they're getting bigger and stronger, which allows you to work harder for longer periods of time. Especially in football, over a duration of 90 minutes plus, you're going to need stamina a lot to get you through that 90 minutes. Alveoli increases the expand, meaning O2 can be increased intake. So this increases the amount of oxygen coming into the blood stream, and also increases the output of CO2. It can also link to emotional factors such as increasing self-esteem and confidence. This can improve performance because the player's going to want the ball more, be more confident with the ball, the skills they've got, be able to use them in game situations. And also teamwork and communication, that's going to be improved, which obviously is a benefit as it will advance the team, as you know each other better, you know each other's skills, etc., and what they can do with the ball. Also, I mean, decrease in resting heart rate. This means that less blood around the body needed, and an increase in stroke volume as well.
Okay, well done, Charlie.